If you think that just by investing in stocks, real estate, bonds, gold, and other financial instruments, you will be able to become financially independent, think again. There are 5 non-financial factors that are equally important. And if you do not invest in these, not only will it hamper your journey to financial independence, but it can also make your retiring life very difficult. Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. In this video, I'm going to cover 5 non-financial factors that are super important towards this journey to financial independence. And before you say they may be abstract or intangible, by the end of the video, you will have very clear investment that is needed for each of these non-financial factors, the frequency at which you need to make these investments, and how do you measure the success and failure of these investments. This is based on our own personal experiences because Seema and I, we went through this exact cycle for many, many years. Before I do all that, a quick introduction. My name is Yogi and my wife Seema and I, we both achieved financial independence and retired early, and now exploring our retirement location, which is Thailand. And right now we are in this lovely city called Sukhothai in the central Thailand, a very historical city, beautiful city, lots of greenery, historical monuments, and lovely hotels. So if you ever get a chance, don't just think about Bangkok or visiting there, but also make a visit towards the central Thailand, Sukhothai. Anyways, back to the topic. So the first non-financial investment that you should be making in is yourself. As they say, when you get onto the flight, that put on your oxygen mask first before assisting others. So investing in yourself is equally important. And to make it tangible and measurable, I'm going to put it in 3 categories that you have to invest in yourself. What is the investment needed and the frequency of investment that is needed. So the first category in investing in yourself is skill set. The second is personality. And the third is time. When it comes to skills, the first category, this is about investing in improving and upgrading your professional skills. It could be through certifications, through diplomas, through management courses, through leadership training workshops, etc., etc. The frequency of this should be, as a minimum, every 5 years, you should allocate money towards this upgrading yourself. And optimally, you do this every 2 to 3 years. So this is about professional skill building. The second is improving your financial acumen when it comes to skill set. Now, the good news is that there is a lot of material now available online that can help you become a lot more aware about personal finance. It's still pity that this personal finance is not taught in schools and it's not a mandatory subject. But you can read amazing books, Psychology of Money, Die with Zero, and even a channel like ours, Seema and I, we try our little bit to help people with creating this awareness about personal finance. Good news is that it's also free, that you don't need to pay for most of the time, except maybe buying a book here and there. The frequency of this should be that as a minimum, every month, you should be listening to a personal finance podcast, video, reading a book, etc. And optimally or ideally, you should be investing this time on a weekly basis. And by the way, Seema and I, we try our best to put out a video every week about some topic or the other. So that's on the skills side. The second is personality. Personally, I think personality is even more important than the skills, because skills can help you build your professional or maybe even financial knowledge, but personality will help you build your overall 360-degree foundation. Now, how do you go about doing it? Have a coach or a mentor who can help you develop your personality, and that person can give you an outside-in view of yourself. Make sure that this person is not your boss, your colleague, or a peer, or someone within the organization or your family. Why? Because they will always have a biased view, both a positive bias or a negative bias when they are providing you that insight. Personally, for me, I benefited a lot because for almost entirety of my career, I always had a coach and a mentor. Most of the times I negotiated with the companies that I was working for, and I made them pay for it. But sometimes I even paid from my pocket to make sure that I keep getting this outside in view. And that helped me a lot because that person gave me not just a different perspective, but from time and again, he also kicked my ass. Now, the frequency of this is that as a minimum, you should have those sessions on a quarterly basis and ideally on a monthly basis. Now, for anyone who's looking around for a coach or a mentor, do feel free to reach out. Now, I do this as a paid forward. I also coach and mentor people. I will see if it works out, and I can help you out there. The third is investing in time. Why? Because we become so busy with work, with family, we become busy with even watching so many stuff and interacting with friends, etc., that we get very little time to spend with ourselves. And that time when we spend with ourselves helps us not just relaxing, but it also helps us to think and forces us to think about long-term, short-term, strategic level about ourselves. Now, how do you go about doing this? Find time for yourself where you are away from your family, your friends, everybody. Try and be offline. Only have a conversation and an emergency need basis during the time when you're spending time with yourself. And how do you do it? It depends. If you're sporty, you can go for hiking, a marathon, scuba diving. If you like drives, go on a long drive, maybe on a bike or a car. Maybe go on a retreat, go for meditation. Ideally, you should do this at least 1 week during a year. And as a minimum, one long weekend is what you do is devote this or dedicate this time for yourself. So all these three, building skills, developing personality, and finding time for yourself, requires your financial investment. So you'll have to budget it. Some of that is budgeting on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, and some building skill sets, maybe every few years you will need to budget that. But it'll pay big results for long term. So this is the first non-financial investment. The second non-financial investment is the biggest investment we'll ever make in our lives, and that is our life partner. Now, they say that marriages are made in heaven. I disagree. Marriages are very much made on planet Earth, and they require a lot of work. They require investment in our time, adjustments, communication, and a lot more. And if you do not spend time doing all that or investing in all that, on one end, extreme end of the spectrum, if you go for a separation or a divorce, it literally halves your financial journey, or cuts your wealth by half. And in the other end of the spectrum is where you are very much aligned. It can not just accelerate your financial journey, but it will also make the retirement years a lot more enjoyable. Because keep in mind, as we grow older, our children, they go into colleges, they move out, they get into their jobs, and they move to maybe other cities. So you end up spending a lot more time with each other. And when you retire, you're spending so much time with each other. And interestingly, this spending so much time with each other is also what scares quite a few people to get into this retirement. Because I have quite a few people within my friends, my ex-colleagues, and a few people who've even reached out via this channel. And when I go through their financial portfolios, I say, hey, you're more than financially independent. So if you're not enjoying your job, why don't you just quit and just retire? And they jokingly say, hey, if we do this, maybe we, husband and wife, will kill each other. Now it's a joke, but there is a sad truth to that, because they have not really spent that quality time with each other, knowing each other so much, because it's always been about practical stuff or kids, etc., that they are worried that when they spend time with each other, things may not work out. So how do you go about spending time there? So the first one, which is investing in yourself, these are these one-time investments that you'll need to make. Here is what I call the typical SIP, or in this case, the SRIP, that systematic relationship investment plan that you'll need to put in. That every week or a month, you will need to spend time to engage with each other. Now, how do you do that? practically just because based on Seema and my experiences, choose an activity every month or every week that you're going to start engaging with each other. So, for example, Seema and I, over the years, we've engaged in jigsaw puzzles, board games, bowling, badminton, so many other things that we always have this activity. So have those so-called date nights. And those date nights doesn't mean that you go out for a movie and you both are just looking at the screen, or you go out for a dinner and you're both looking at maybe your mobile phones. This would mean that here is where you are going to engage with each other in some form of the activity. Because the more you do it, it'll be easier for you during your retirement years to get easily into this retirement life. And if you have not done any of this, believe me, when you get into this retirement life, it will be very awkward with each other. So invest that or have that SRIP in your relationship before it becomes RIP of your relationship. So this is the second one. The third one is investing in your health. Now, this is where personally I have to admit that I've always struggled during my entire lifetime. But health is super important because, again, and needless to say, that the more healthy you are, the better you'll be able to enjoy your retirement life or even your financial independence journey. In another video, I covered that, there is this go-go years, slow-go years, and no-go years. Ideally, you do not want that you even have any no-go years, that you straight away, even in your late 80s and 90s, you're still in your slow-go years, or even better if you're till your last day, you're in your go-go years. Now, how do you do that? Some simple practical advice. One is, I would say, buy a smartwatch. Now, personally for me, it has been a big motivator because I'm able to track my sleep every night. I'm able to see that, hey, am I sleeping well? Am I sleeping 7 hours to 8 hours? Because I try and chase that target. Similarly, I try in Apple Watch, in this case, there are these circles, that exercise circle and calories burned circle. Now, because Apple almost gamifies it and gives you badges, so I try and chase that target. So there has been months and months that I've never, even for a day, not had those circles. So the small little things, hopefully a smartwatch can help you achieve that. The second is, make sure that every year, without fail, you're getting a full body checkup done. There are so many executive checkup packages available nowadays, and this is important because it kind of gives you a real literal health check. So in addition to the gyms, etc., these two will make a big change about your validating your health, as well as making sure that you keep remaining motivated. So these two investments are very good, and ideally you do this on a yearly basis as a health checkup. The next one is investing in your children. Now, the entire die with zero approach, or this FIRE approach, has turned this entire leave your legacy behind for children upside down. Because the entire approach now with this FIRE or die with zero is that you leave little or no legacy for children, and you enjoy the money that your own hard-earned money. I think there is a truth to that. Why? Because it doesn't, and like I've covered in this video that I did about die with zero, it has lower value for your children when you leave a huge legacy behind in their 50s and 60s, because by then they're already established, they're stabilized, and they're in another walk of life what they are in their teens or early professional years. So invest at the right time, invest in their education, and make sure that they get a jump start in their career. So you need to budget that. You need to make sure that you budget it in your entire financial independence journey. And like I've also covered in another video of mine, make sure that there is a good cost-benefit analysis of the education that you're investing in. Because there seems to be this whole movement right now that we want to send our children overseas for education, and we want to send them to very expensive universities. But do a cost-benefit analysis. A university in the US, maybe 4x the price versus a university in Germany or Switzerland or Sweden or Netherlands. But those universities are not 4x worse than the university in the US. So do such a cost-benefit analysis before you make those budget allocations in that investment. And the last point is investing in your core inner circle. Now, everybody has a core inner circle, and this core inner circle is your very close family and friends that you confide on. Personally, for Seema and I, this was instrumental in our entire developing our life as well as our own entire financial independence journey, because we were able to discuss with them about our own plan of not having children, our own plan about retiring early, a plan to move to different other countries, and they gave us beautiful different perspectives, and they supported us in this journey. So investing in that is super important. Now, how do you go about doing that? Is again, set a target that every month or every week, the people who you think are very core to you, that you're going to make sure that you keep connecting with them through phone call, taking out for them for lunches or dinners, inviting them home, and you're going to have some tangible, fruitful, productive, insightful conversation with them, and not just, yes, movies and holidays, etc., are also important, but that is very important. So, in summary, if you make all these investments, believe me, it is going to make your journey to financial independence better. Also, it will help you understand that how much money do you need to allocate towards these non-financial instruments that are very important. And my suggestion would be that, like what you do at job, that at the end of the year you have this performance evaluation and you look at someone, or either you look at your subordinates or your boss looks at your KPIs, have this KPI table and see that how much investment have you done on yourself, developing your personality, time allocating to yourself, how much is your investment in your relationship, that SRIP that I talked about, what have you done towards your health checkups. So put this almost like a checklist and almost like a KPI document that you will check year on year. So hopefully this video gives you an insight into some of these non-financial assets that are very important, and hopefully it gives you some food for thought. As always, please do share your comments, your thoughts, your questions, and as always, we'll try our best to reply to each and every one of them. Till the next topic, till the next video, and till the next location. Goodbye from me. Bye-bye.